They do everything that you can possibly do, but there's the old saying that everybody has plans till you get punched in the face, and this race will punch you in the face.
It's tough. It's tough on cars. It's tough on your body, mentally, physically, all the above.
It's a race like no other, for sure. We've said it time and time again how crazy King of the Hammers is, and it just doesn't even make sense for a single event to put you through this roller coaster of emotions. As far as coming out here and trashing a pre-runner, preparing for this race, trashing a race car for a single race.
Yeah, that's it.
It doesn't make sense on paper to come out here and race King of the Hammers and go all in like we do, but man, you cannot be a part of it. If you like racing on the highest level, you cannot be a part of King of the Hammers. Man, so we just got out here for King of the Hammers. It's gonna be one of the wildest and craziest King of the Hammers that we've ever done because it's gonna be way rougher. It's a good long race. It's gonna be a tough one, man. Like, he's trying to make it to where the UTVs don't get it done.
This race really is so different from any desert race. It's so unique because it adds an element of desert racing, which is what we're really used to, and then the whole rock side of things, which we're not used to.
All right, we're going. Thank goodness.
The goal is for me to not even have to get out of the car. We'll see how that goes. It's pretty ambitious, I know, but that's the plan.
Man, pre-running was wild again today. Beats you up, beats the car up, but it's gonna be helpful for sure.
About to do some homework today. About to get us dialed in.
King of the Hammers, man, is a crazy ebb and flow of emotions because you get out here, you do some pre-running, you see how rough the course is, that gets you nervous. Then you go into qualifying like today, and then we have a few days before the race starts. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in for this race.
Good luck, dude. Go fast, take chances.
Thank you.
Man, you always want to do good, but man, you run that fine line of how hard to run the car, but also be conservative and try to get a good finish.
It's a long race, it's a rough race. And so as long as you get in that top pack that keeps moving pretty good, King of the Hammers is still a winnable race from that position.
It's tough to know what pace to set, which just goes to show, and it really brings the best racers out to this race.
We ended up in the top 10 or 11, and what's crazy is how equally yoked everybody is, that the top 8 or 10 people are within a few seconds of each other. And so, man, a couple of the other Can-Am guys absolutely killed it in qualifying today. It shook out like it did. Now we got to get the car ready, do a little more pre-running, and it's relaxed before the storm.
We're gonna go some pictures of the car before it gets trashed out, because it ain't ever gonna look as good as it does right now, especially after Thursday.
No, don't do that to us. Don't do this to us. Phil can't see over if he sits like that.
There's more people out here, so they're trying to burn through it faster, which I'm okay with that. Tonight. I think it's the Pit Crew Challenge, which we're the reigning defending champs. I don't think we're participating this year, but we're at least going to go hand the throne off to somebody else. So should be interesting to see. It's about to start. It's really quiet for some reason for as many people as there are. I think the anticipation's building.
Obviously, we're the defending champions, so we're just going to see how these schmoes change tires around here. Just make fun of everybody else and heckle this. Hand on the ground. Put your hand on the ground, Jay. I'm just kidding. You can hold it. Just let it touch the ground. Go! Get it, boys! They got to be tight. I like what this team over here on the right is doing. They're starting it with the impact, not starting anything by hand. They're just running it in with the impact. That's a good strategy.
I'm not impressed. Still hadn't beaten our time from last year, so.
I really enjoy getting to be a part of these events and like doing a lot of stuff and interacting with our sponsors and things like that. So that stuff is really fun and cool to me. But like, you got to keep your eye on the prize. Like, there was no interrupting our pre-running, our qualifying, our car prep. Like, there's no interrupting that because we have to be ready whenever it comes to race day. But the other stuff is fun, man. It's a part of us coming out here and doing all the stuff that we do. So I enjoy that, but you still keep your eye on the prize. second contingency day. Got everything ready on the car, qualified pretty good. It's gonna be a fun day today. It'll be cool hanging out around everybody.
Get a chance to see everybody else's cars, hang out a little bit, have fun, relax before we get wild tomorrow.
Well, apparently we're supposed to pre-tech, and we didn't. So now we have to hurry up and wait at each stop for tech people. You know, just another thing we got to take care of. So we'll get it done and not have to worry about it. We're missing an A on the extinguisher.
Yep. Good.
So we got the A on there now. It's official. We're done.
We're gonna tear the car down and do a full re-prep on it, just double check over everything. He ran it pretty hard during qualifying, so we're gonna look over it really good and make sure none's tore up and make sure that it can handle 2 laps out here.
That's a win. Diff is in. Just put a new front diff in. After qualifying, we hammered on that thing, so we want to be fresh.
It's so rough at this race that even the few miles we put on during qualifying, you can't chance having the car go through that for a race like this. So everything new going on the car and getting it ready for the race on Thursday. And it just seems like King of the Hammers is always a crazy race, and it's never just smooth, show up, pre-run race. That's just not how this race goes. It's partly because it's the roughest race in the world, but also there's a lot of pressure around it, so you want to put in as much effort as possible. So tomorrow's race day.
Finishing up the last preparations. We know what we gotta do. We've done it before. Execution time. That's it. Tired, feel like I didn't hardly get no sleep. Of course, it would be the coldest morning all week. It's like 26 right now. Wait for that sun to come up, warm up a little bit because it is chilly. But we got about less than 2 hours before go time, so we got a couple last minute little things to do. And it's time to suit up.
All the work, all the effort, all the sacrifice, man, it comes down to today. I know it's gonna be rough, I know it's gonna be battle to the end. And if we get that one lucky race, we have a clean one, we have as good a chance as anybody.
Confidence and skill and experience, grows each time we come out here. So it's always a fun time. It's the most unique race for us all year, so we look forward to it, to the challenges and experiences that Hammertown always brings each year.
It's a race like no other, for sure. We've said it time and time again how crazy King of the Hammers is and how it just doesn't even make sense for a single event to put you through this roller coaster of emotions. As far as coming out here and trashing a pre-runner, preparing for this race, trashing a race car for a single race, it doesn't make sense on paper to come out here and race King of the Hammers and go all in like we do. But man, this is the biggest race, dude. It's crazy the coverage that they get. It's crazy what they offer us as racers as far as the live feed and all that kind of stuff. So you can't not be a part of it. If you like racing on the highest level, you can't not be a part of King of the Hammers.
I'm in it for the glory.
When the race kicked off, like the car felt good. We felt like we was keeping a good pace, and we were moving along pretty good. We didn't make it, but I don't know, 20 or 30 miles in, and we started realizing something's off with either our clutching or our belt or something. We're getting too much RPM and not enough mile per hour. And so we felt like we were moving good, even though we know we had a struggle going on, like something was going on with clutching, something was going on with the belt. We kept cruising, we tried to pick up some positions. Just as we were wrapping up the first lap, like we felt like we were making some pretty good progress, but that's when things kind of started unwrapping. So just a few miles out of the pits, we ended up blowing a belt at an abnormal belt temperature. So we're like, all right, man, something's definitely going on.
One of the clips broke. Yeah. Might have to cut it out of here, so it's on the primary.
Change the primary?
I want you to start changing. You want me to change it or what?
I'm saying.
I got it.
We'll be able to do that faster.
Jumped back in the car, started running again. This belt was acting a little weird too, so we knew we definitely had a problem. Ended up blowing another belt going into the pits. And so we were like, all right, so something's definitely wrong.
What y'all need, horse? car. And don't forget the clutch is open, so it's gonna like kind of slick. Okay? You can probably put it in neutral and rev it up.
The first pit was a little slow. We had to do a clutch change. Unfortunately, it was a little slow, but we got it done. Got them back on course, and now just keep on trucking.
There's a beautiful car at speed right there.
Look at that fantastic view here of that Can-Am. 35-inch tires. And look at the way the suspension just soaks up those whoops.
And going out in the second lap, like I immediately knew something's still not right. Like the car's not running good. The belt's slipping, we're having an issue. Like it's fixing to be a long day through the rock. Yeah, we're down again. Blew a belt, we didn't make it 3 miles out.
Oh, she wrote.
Yeah, that's it. That's gonna be it for us. We're just running for fun now.
No, we're still in it, man. Just y'all stay focused. There's still plenty of time.
We'd already blown a couple of belts. We'd already given up a few positions, so we were dropping back. Like we were starting to fade, but we still had a long race. We still had all the rock sections, so we started pushing hard, you know. We came around one of the obstacles, and it's really a tight squeeze and tough to get through, and as soon as we came around, we realized that Cody Miller, our Can-Am teammate, and one of the dudes that runs our chassis had done flipped his car. He had just turned over right in front of us. Me and Dustin, it wasn't even a question. When we came around the corner and Cody was flipped over, it didn't matter what position we were in. We didn't even stop to check. Like, it was like, all right, we got to get Cody back on his wheels. We got to make sure that he's moving with us. That way, if something happens to us, Cody can keep going. He's got a chance to still do well. I knew it was going to hurt our position in the race by stopping and helping him. But man, those are our buddies. You know, not only are they our teammates through Can-Am, but they're our friends. You know, we race with them all the time at King of the Hammers, at Texplex. You know, they support S3 Power Sports with everything that they do. So it wasn't even a question for me. We were not going to leave Cody behind. No matter what, we were going to stop and get him flipped over. You get such anxiety and you start getting so nervous that you're not hitting your lines, you're not hitting your marks. You're just trying to move so fast and get through the rocks that you make mistakes. And that's never good in racing. And immediately getting off of Sledgehammer, you have to turn and go up Jackhammer, which everybody dreads going up Jackhammer. And we knew where we wanted to be. We knew where the tires needed to be. We just had to hump right up it. And so we line up, hit it, bump it just a little bit, and when it comes down, man, you hear that awful pop, man, and freaking broke an axle right there on Jackhammer. You know, we had the opportunity to winch through the obstacle, but I knew it was going to slow Phil down, and so I told Dustin, stop, unhook the line, let me get out of the way, let Phil go, and then let's winch up this thing. And so we did, man. We let Phil go. He hopped right up the obstacle. We jumped in behind him, winched up there, fought to get all the way out of Jackhammer, got to the top, and had to get out and swap an axle. So now we know we're kind of out of the race. That's pretty well it for us for King of the Hammers again, man. It's that nemesis race for us, dude. It just gets us every time. But just, man, it seems inevitable for us at King of the Hammers that it's gonna be a battle every time. What physical position do you think you're in?
I don't know now because I had to buy the X3 back over here and then climb this mountain. But I would say 20, maybe.
Oh yeah, let's get in that grudge match.
The chance of us doing good at King of the Hammers was pretty well over right there at the top of Jackhammer. It's heartbreaking. And it's tough to swallow, man. As a racer, you want to do good. You want to win this huge, huge race, dude. One of the roughest races, but it just, again, this year it wasn't in the cards for us, you know. It wasn't our time.
Yeah, so it was a crazy race, man. It's been a rough day for us, you know. We, the clutching was a little bit off. I don't know, something was going on with them, and so we blew like 5 belts. We swapped the clutches in the pits. That didn't fix it, and we broke a rear axle trying to get up Jackhammer. So running good until we weren't, you know. It's, man, if you get a clean race out at King of the Hammers like that, that's a good day. You expect to have a lot of problems, and if you even get to finish, like you've done something. So it was a crazy day for us. It was rough. We did not do well, but we finished King of the Hammers.
We just finished, I think we finished like 18th, which means we got a good spot for the shootout tonight. We got to swap some stuff from the pre-runner and get some parts to take and freshen up the KOH car in like an hour. So got a little bit of work to do.
So we're getting ready for the grudge match. We had a terrible day of racing, man, but we came in the top 20. So that means the top 20 racers go into a grudge match. Now we get 1 hour to get the car ready and go out there and race. The car's beat up, it's clapped out. I don't know that it will make it the whole race, but we're gonna wrench on it. We're gonna focus our efforts on performance, get this boy turned up, running hot, and then, I don't know, hopefully it stays together.
What's crazy is over the years, it's become not just about racing for us. You know, we're taking our brand of S3 Power Sports and our name out there to the races. Well, that's an opportunity for us to meet people and hang out and talk about the builds that we have going on in the shop. And our main focus when we go out there is to do well, to win races and to be up front. But outside of that, man, it's just a whole experience for us. We're a part of so much that goes on out there, and all the guys that are with us, from Dustin to Cord to, you know, the pit guys, it's just being a part of these events and meeting people and shaking hands and introducing ourselves. Man, it's just, for me, racing has become a fun thing, man, that I love being a part of. I love going out to these events. I love everything that surrounds it.
How you feel about this? Nervous. We got nothing to lose, a lot to win. The worst situation, and the car's barely running, but we're gonna do what we can.
They're all just reaching for a piece of you.
Popped out, got to the very top, and knew we were gonna nose Brian Deegan out if we clear this obstacle. And you hear that terrible jackhammer pop again, and we blew the right rear axle. Kicks the car sideways on one of the nastiest obstacles up there, on a 45, 50 degree slope, barely on the wheels, and realized, like, that's it, man. The $10,000, we watch it drive away as Deegan pulls off the obstacle and goes down into the short course. And so, kick the car in reverse, ease it off the hill, and roll back to the trailer with our tail tucked between our legs.
Few small mechanical things can change the whole game plan. So ultimately, the guys had a clean race besides those couple of mechanicals. So, but that happens. You prepare for it and overcome them and do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's why they call it racing. So disappointed, but you know, not disappointed with how we performed and how everybody executed our game plan today. So that was pretty flawless. But don't always get the results that you want, but it's part of racing. So live and learn.
And it's a race that we can't seem to figure out the combination on. You know, we're always doing good until we're not doing good. That's the allure of racing, I think, is you always feel like you're on the verge of winning. And it's the same thing with us today. Like, I felt like we were doing amazing. We had a good plan. We had all the prep done, the pre-running. Like, we put all efforts into winning this one. And it just wasn't meant to be, you know? It wasn't because of lack of testing or pre-running or anything like that. It just was not meant to be. Now, it's run to the hotel, get a couple hours sleep, come load everything back up, and hit the road, man. 20-hour drive, gotta hit home. You got that? Do I look like I got a crazy eye in the picture?
This is a lazy eye.
Lazy eye, got it.
And then I looked up and I saw y'all moving the tank. And the people behind me are like, what are you yelling at? I'm like, that's my guys right there.
I had an 80-year-old man learning to me about World War II the whole time. It was good. Good conversations, and I learned a little bit today. So.
Oh, interview. What's up? Interviewee? Oh, yeah. Interviewing the interviewer.
I know one thing, though, is I'm ready to eat. It's grub time.